Welcome to Fishing Planet. In this video I will give you a lowdown on what I feel is the best setup for raking in them baits, getting the most amount of money out of it in the fastest time possible for Lone Star Lake. I have experimented with numerous lures, jigs, spoons, etc. and I found 3 or 4, maybe even 5 that work extremely well. I'll go over them in just a second. This is for beginners or people that like me that have blown all their money by moving around too quickly in the map and need to get that money built up as fast as possible. This is what I have found works best for me. Let's go to shop. Obviously once you get to level 3 I believe it is, or you start with this one. Once you get to level 3 you want to get onto a spinning rod. This one here, value spin 190. 1,250 in-game pounds, dollars, whatever you want to call it. This one is perfectly adequate for this lake. It's got a maximum drag of 3 kilograms, weight line, perfect. I would even recommend to, when you can get level 5, upgrade to this one here. Again, absolute perfect, but this one is perfectly adequate. Talking about reels now, this is obviously your starting reel. Again, this is absolutely fine for this lake. It's got a maximum drag of 1.25 kilograms. However, I do strongly recommend when you get to level 3, obviously you need level 3 to get the rod, to go for this reel as well. It's got a 1.55 kilogram breakage, maximum drag. Moving on to lines, I would recommend going for the monoline. I believe it's this one. Yep, 1.4 kilograms. Again, in my other video, I strongly point out this. You always want to go for a test breakage of lower than your weakest link in your rod or your reel. So if you see this is 1.4, the spinning rod is 3. So 1.4 obviously lower than 3, and the reel is 1.55. So again, 1.4 is lower. If you're going for this one, it's 1.25. This means your reel is likely to break before your line will snap. You always want your line to snap the first because it's cheaper to replace your line, your lure, your hook, etc. than it is to replace your reel or rod. Moving on to keep nets, this is the biggie in this game for making the money. You want the possible biggest fish net you can get your hands on. You can see I currently have this one unlocked. It holds 25 kilograms of fish. The maximum weight of a fish I can hold in this currently is 3.5. I'm obviously progressing up to this one to go on to the bigger lakes. I started off by missing this one. It's no point. 2 free fish in this, you've filled up. You're not making your money. Well, obviously you will make money because Lone Star Lake is free, but there's no point. Get your hands on at least this one here. Once you get to level 4, level 2, 4 kilograms. Level 4, you can store 7 kilograms of fish in this. Fill it up. You're going to make around £1,000 on this easily. Progress as soon as you go on. Obviously this one. This is the one that you want. Once you get to level 8, push and push and push to get to level 8. As soon as you get it, buy this. Again, moving on, get this one as soon as you can. Get your hands. This is the most important thing when upgrading. Never upgrade your reel or rod first. Always upgrade your fish net first, because that's where you're going to get the money to fill it up through going over to the other lakes, staying in Lone Star Lake, fill it up, sell the fish at the end of the day, move on to the next day, etc. Stay in the lake, get that money in, okay? Let's move on to hooks. Adequate hook for this lake, for Lone Star Lake, I would say if you're going to be float fishing, which I don't recommend doing, you want probably size 8 to size 6 hook for float fishing, but I'm not talking about float fishing in this video, I'm talking about lures. Right, let's start off with jig baits. Now, shads, yeah, I have got a yellow shad. It does work, it's not bad. The green shad, I don't think I've ever caught a fish off this. Seriously, wasted my money on this. This one, it does work. I've caught a few fish on it, but it's not one of my favourites. Let's move on. Grubs, I've got this one here. I have never caught a fish on this. I have never ever caught a fish on a tube. I haven't even had a bite on a tube on that lake, let alone any other lake. Blue worm, yes, this works absolute wonders. I have caught many fish on this. It cost me 1 in-game gold. This was at one point my favourite lure. I would say it's now my 3rd favourite. Let's move on. Haven't got any of these. Nope. No, I haven't got access to these anyway. Okay, so that was jigs. Let's go to jig heads. This one here. If you're going to be using a jig, which I do recommend on Lone Star Lake. It has got me numerous fish. Get the 5 gram or I think it's quarter ounce. I'm not sure in ounces. I don't work in ounces. Sorry. And it's the number 5, 101i or whatever I call it. 5 gram jig. Okay. To go with that, let's move on to worms. This one here. It cost me 2 in-game gold. I had to get to level 14. As soon as you get to level 14, get this lure. I don't know what it is, daytime, nighttime, it's like a freaking fish magnet. I cast out, I get a fish every single goddamn time on this. It's magnet. In my previous video I was talking about this and the other one I've been using, but since then I have been using this. It's fucking fantastic, guys. This lure, this worm is amazing. I'm currently waiting to get this one. Obviously it's a bigger one. I can hopefully get some bigger fish or attract bigger mouths on it. Let's go down to now base jigs. Yep, base jigs. This one I have, again, I would say it's slightly too heavy, it's too big for the base in Lone Star Lake. Stay away from it. Let's move on to some of my favourites. I have, where's my lemon? Or melon, I don't know where it is. This one here. 4 gram, size 3. This in Lone Star Lake has got me, or pulled out some of the biggest fish as well. Flinging this out as far as I can cast it, standing on the bridge, aiming between the 2 big trees at the back, this small shiny green bush, aiming towards that, cast it out, stop and go, or lift and drop. I'm catching fish at least over 600 grams to over 1 kilo on this every single strike. Don't think there's any more base jigs I use. Moving on then, next one, let's talk about crankbaits. I haven't used any of them, don't need it. Spoons, here we go. Spoons and spinners. This one here, this is one of the best ones you can use for Lone Star Lake at level 3. You're set up for level 3. Once you get level 3, get yourself that spinning rod, get yourself that spinning reel at level 3, and get this. This will get you a fish nearly every single cast, if not every other cast. Stop and go with this. Learn the best to get the drag and drop, or whatever you call it, the drop and go. I don't know what the frick it's called now. You're likely to get a fish over it. Silver one, it works, but the gold one is best for this lake, I have found. Moving on, this one, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but not as good as the gold one. I don't think I've caught so many fish on this one as I have with the gold one. However, this one here is level 8. This has got me quite a lot of fish. This is one of the best lures, again, I've used until my glowworm on the, oh god, what's it called? The Emerald Lake. Nighttime fishing for the walleye. This has worked absolute goddamn wonders. It's got me a walleye nearly every single time, and still I've got hold of that glowworm. That glowworm now is my go-to bait. I don't think I've got access to anything else or bought anything else. These two, the beetle, this one, level 17. I haven't got there, obviously. Well, I have got there, but I haven't bought them yet. Lots of our people on YouTube, and I've seen in-game chat, people say that these two work fantastic. Get your hands on these once you get to, but for Lone Star Lake, you don't need it, obviously, because it's too high. Let's go back to my favourite one, worm. Level 14, save it for this, but the best one to use, this whole point of this video, the best one to use on this lake is this. Get your hands on this, guys, level 3. I've also tried the sloop spoons. Where is it? I don't know. I thought maybe, oh, this one here. Yep, this one here. Yeah, it's okay, but not as good as this. This is what you want, okay? I'm going to demonstrate this. I'm going to go into my inventory. I'm going to set up my rod. I have got an advanced reel on here, but the reel I've been talking about to you guys is perfectly fine. Your line you want, I've got here 2.7 kilogram breakage for this reel is absolutely fine, but the other one I mentioned to you earlier is good. Now I'm going to go to my home because it's not in here. Here we go, this one, number 2. Chuck this on, perfect timing. Let's look at about weather. It's all the importance of when you're fishing. This changes day in by day. Right, so the best time to get the fish on here is between, let's say, 5 and 8 o'clock in the morning. I would say it drops off, and then again at probably 6 till 9 o'clock. So we're going to drop in. We're going to fish from 5 to probably 8, maybe pushing on 9 o'clock if we're lucky. We might, if we start losing interest in the fish, we're going to fast forward time on to probably like 6 maybe 7, depending on if we filled our keep net. Now, I have got the 25 kilogram keep net. Like I said, you would be pushing to get that 12 kilogram, I think it was. Let's go back. Keep nets, keep nets, keep nets. Keep nets, level 3. You're going to be getting probably this one. Yeah, it's going to get you the money, but not very fast. Strings, I haven't used strings, but yeah, you can hold up to 10 kilograms of fish on this. But this is what you want. As soon as you get there, get your hands on this, guys. Fill it up. Do not leave that lake until it's full of base. Leave there. You're going to get probably close to £2,000 at the end of the day for getting this in. It takes me, I would say, in real time, maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes to fill this up off gameplay. That brings me in about £2,000. That gives me then enough money to move on to the other lake where I move in here. No matter what the weather forecast says, don't give a fucking shit about this. You want to go and start fishing at 9 o'clock at night until, I would say, the sweet spot is from 9 till 11 o'clock. Sometimes staying on to midnight. Obviously midnight you automatically sell your fish and the game progresses to the next day. The sweet spot to go on here is from 9 till 5 for this one. The travel cost is expensive, but if you fill that keep net up, you will make money as long as you have the biggest keep net. The 12 kilogram one, I was filling it up with walleye, which is what you'll be fishing for. I was making probably around £500 profit, which isn't that good, or not as good as Lone Star Lake, but I was moaning and grumping about this. I actually sent an email to the devs saying that I put in a lot of work and why is the reward so low, and basically they came back saying because your keep net is too fucking small. That was their answer. Not joking on that. I would show the email, but I don't have it. I think I deleted it anyway. So now I've got the bigger keep net, 25 kilograms. I filled this up with walleye and I'm making nearly £6,000 profit. Not a lie, that is honest truth. So I'm going to jump into the map. Let's go travel. No shit, that was not what I want. Not good enough. Thank God I didn't waste my money there. I want Lone Star Lake. Let's go into here. Now I'm using Xbox controller, so I'm switching hands. Get away from my mouse. Loading, loading, loading. Come on, right. We're going to fast forward time. Actually, no, we're not, because the sweet time today is starting from now, 5 o'clock. What happened there? I pressed the button, just got it. Well, looks like we're going straight into fishing, which is fine by me. Okay, so we're over here. We're going to run over to the bridge. Looks like somebody's already in my space. No, that's okay. Now I find standing roughly here in the middle of the bridge against this peg. We are aiming, I don't know if you can just about see it, right where my rod is pointing there's a little greeny bush. That's where you want to aim, slightly to the left of that, round sorry, to the right of that, roundabouts there. I am using the gold spinner, yes. I'm setting my drag onto minimum. I'm putting my speed onto minimum, my drag onto probably about 4 or 5. I'm looking, I don't need a count, I'm just going to go for full cast here. Boom, straight out. I wait for it to roughly hit the bottom. Then, depending on how I feel, if I can be bothered or not, I'm doing lift and go or stop and go. I'm going to try stop and go, because it's easier. And boom, see, got a strike. Missed it though. Let's see. Now, I have found there's some weeds roughly there, around 35 meters. You hit some weeds, ignore that, that's not fish. And that we're hooked in. Let's bring this in. I'm just going to bully this little fish to get him in as fast as possible. Come on, you little bugger. No, he's not putting up much of a fight. I reckon this is going to be about 500, 600 kilos. Oh, there he goes. Come on, come on. Where are you? Wow, okay, no, nearly 900 kilos. That's my first fish. There you go, point maked. Let's give it one more shot. So again, let's look for that green bush. Whack it at it there. Boom. Again, I have found a sweet spot around 24 meters. They normally bite around there. And around 13 meters. And we just had a bite there. I felt it vibrate. I got the vibration turned on my controller so I can... And that was probably the weeds. Let's see. I'm going to probably hit some weeds again roundabouts now. Yep, there's some weeds. No, we actually hooked in there, I think. Couldn't tell if that was weeds or fish. So I'm coming up to about 24 meters. I'm probably going to get a bite roundabouts now. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And this time no. So I reckon the next sweet spot's going to be around about 13 meters. I'm getting a bit high from the to the surface. Let's let it drop down a little tiny bit. Right, 13 meters coming up. We're hopefully going to get a strike now. Not this time. Not so lucky. Don't give up though. See, they do follow in. Even just coming right up against the bridge, I let it dangle there sometimes. Sometimes I've been lucky to get the fish as it follows you in. Not this time though. Let's try one more. Whack it out there. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's sink roughly to the bottom. I'm going to try a stop and go this time if I can. I'm not very good at this, so... Oh, yeah, see? Boom, straight in. And let's get this fish in. Let's see what size we got on here. This one's not putting up much of a fight. Yeah, small one. Okay, one more. Just let it sink. Stop and go. We're coming up to around 35, 34 meters. I'm going to probably... Actually, we may not hit the weeds. We're quite high on this one. We're in the middle. If it's any lower than this, you're likely to get snagged into some reeds or weeds, what we'll call it. Quite high in the water here. Let's sink down. Oh, and we're hooked in. Sometimes even stopping that, the fish like, oh, it's going, and they take a bite. This one's a small one as well. There we go, guys. So, as I pointed out, what's that? 5 casts, 4 casts, 5 casts, and what, we got 3 fish, roughly. Oh, wrong button. Damn it. Where are we? Where are we? Keep net. Let's have that. Okay. Oh, we got white carp here. I didn't know we had that. I thought it was spotted bass. We've got 2 spotted bass bass. I don't know what you will call the buckers. 151 pounds, 63 pounds. Get rid of that. It's too small. Filling it up with bass. Finish your day off, go there, you sell it, you're going to upgrade, you're going to progress, you're going to get your XP the fastest way possible on this lake. So I will be making a video on the Emerald Lake and the Muddy River later in this week. Keep an eye on my channel for those videos on the best setup I have found for those places. Thanks guys for watching. Please leave any comments below. I will do my utmost to answer you as best as I can. Thanks. Bye bye.